Finally, a break from the 90s and the atmosphere soup that has been Central Ohio. Hey everybody, welcome back to the shop. I'm James and we're gonna do an experiment. I don't know if it's gonna work, but then that's like every video on the channel, so you should not be surprised. The theory is I have this nice, beautiful, freshly blacked piece of steel that I want to use as a welding platform, particularly for things that need to be welded in the round. Say if you're doing a tube to plate type of deal. So I've totally stolen at least the concept of this from Texas Viking over at what is that, Texas Precision Welding. I'll put a link down here on the bottom. He's got a lot of great stuff. He makes all of this stuff look totally effortless, which if you've got that much experience, it's probably not real hard. So what I'm trying to do is I want to try to make that mount on that bench through a hole on a shaft down to the floor where I can use my left foot to spin it round while my right foot is doing the doodly-doo on the pedal. So at the moment, what I've found is I've got some of this stainless tube. This is, I believe this was a roller out of a large format printer. I got a couple of these. And then I have these two kind of splines. And what I'm thinking of is if I can clean, you can see I've already cleaned one of these off and gotten it shinified and stuff. So what I'm thinking is, you can see there's a big landing right down there. I'm thinking if I can get that to ride on this bottom one can be mounted to the floor, and then this one will be mounted to a pole, maybe the pole I just talked about, maybe not. And then we can bolt some sort of a platform here so that it's going to spin around as such. I could then have a tab or something welded onto the back of this that I could hook my grounding clamp to. That way we're grounded through. This will rotate, causing this to rotate. So I could maybe do it a little easier than doing welding around a piece of round tube is right now. Is it going to work? I don't know. So but the first thing I got to do is I got to get this other spline mount to look like this one. So a little rinse water later, here we go. So I've got two of these. And that should ride around there very nice. This piece is contacting with that land, you can see right on the end. So there's a nice amount of contact there. It should make a fairly secure ground, at least in my brain. So now, I gotta figure out what is a good or better way to get this attached to this rack here. Okay, I think I got me a solution that'll at least get me to where I can get it tacked up. And those are just a couple of the 8-inch fireball squares. And it's just sitting on this big chunk of 1/2-inch plate. There was a table base that we had found in the basement. So now that it looks like that's going to work, we'll get it all cleaned up and get to tacking it and then weld it. The tube is stainless. The spline mount is obviously not stainless, so we're going to use some 309L, which should allow us to do both of that. And I might have to go bird hunting here in a minute. Hey, well, that's not hateful. So, yeah, it's not bad. I've not welded tube in forever and a half. So again, this is a stainless tube to just a carbon steel tube flange. And that's 309. We got a kind of a booger here and a booger there. I think for something I'm gonna get my foot on all the time, it'll probably be all right. So we got a little more progress done. I sanded the inside of this nut so that it would just lay down on the side of that tube, and then just did some ugly tack welds to get it in there. Welded a grounding tab and mounted this on a piece of wood for the base. I have marked my center lines out to start drilling and tapping holes in the bottom of my piece. And now we've marked the location on our bench and are going to drill a hole down through there so that this pipe flange will have enough room to sit down in there if it needs to. Exciting stuff. Okay, we've got this drilled, tapped, this 4 flange, this piece of 3/4 inch pipe on the bottom of our hopefully soon to be rotating base. Sorry it's taken so long. I am, if you want to get the full enjoyment of the RATTLECAN Fab Shop, then you should probably be watching this, listening to White Snake live at Donington in 1990. The first lineup I ever saw of White Snake, one of my favorites. I don't think technically the best, because obviously that's got to be with Aldrich and Beach on guitars, but that's kind of getting off subject. So anyways, now we're gonna see if we can slide it into our pole dealio and get this thing working. So now, let's find, gotta find a piece of wood, the right piece of wood to put underfoot. Now I know sometimes people laugh at you, if you're old like me. I write down the information that I need. When I walk up to this circle jig, it tells me I need a 9/64 inch pilot hole, so I don't have to fumble around and find the right bit. And then I've also written a note to myself that I need a 5/32 hex wrench to undo these and make my adjustments. And it makes my life a lot easier, and life's hard enough as it is. Get to my age, you don't really know how long you're going to live. voila, a hole. Really? You codfish. Oh yeah, we need a wedge for that, don't we? Just split them just like chopsticks. Now, what else do we need? Oh, I gotta hook up a ground and then we'll test it. Well, it's nice, the temperature just dropped about 10 degrees. It's just another variable to put into the mix. So now you got thunder, and now you got, instead of 3 of your appendages, now you got 4 of your appendages all trying to do something. So yeah, it's going to take me a bunch of practice to get used to this, but you know, I did it. It works. I got connectivity. I'm grounded. It's a good ground path, so my spark's not wandering all over the place. And you know, for the cost of a couple of beers, to a buddy of mine, thanks Jumpin' Bean for that, and thanks friend of the channel Jay for the chunk of metal, we now kind of have something that's at least the basis of us being able to do this. So anyways, before this storm comes, I'm going to try to get a little bit of work in. Remember, if I can do it, you can do it. You guys have a good weekend. Cheers. I hope you found this episode educational or entertaining, or maybe even both. You might want to check this one out as well. Be sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the little bell to be notified when new videos drop, and if you got comments, make sure you put them down beneath the sermon notes. Thanks for hanging out with us here at the RATTLECAN Fab Shop. Y'all have a good one. Cheers.